Good morning, Bitcoin land. I hope all is well for you today. This is the daily chart of Bitcoin. For those of you who've been following along on my channel, that's the daily chart. There it is. You know what I've been saying. Let's just get straight to it. That's just for perspective where we're at. Bitcoin has recently pulled back or has come back down for the retest. Just a daily chart here. We're going to go down to the hourly. I just want to show the daily just to show you perspective where we're at in the big scheme of things. Go down to the hourly. Let's look at the price action. My last video, I left off was basically right in through here where I made my last video, and I was talking about the possibility of Bitcoin breaking out of the big green descending channel, and that had a target of basically up here towards this white line, which is the previous all-time high at about 73,851. It did not make it all the way up there, but look, it did clear 72,000 for just a brief moment in time and then fell back down. In that video, you can see, if you remember that my last video, I'll put the last video link down in the description if you're new to my channel and you want to follow along with what I'm doing here. This is quite interesting, and I've developed this little technique I call the kaleidoscope system. And what I do is I just leave these patterns in here because I believe they'll come back into play at a later time. So back through here, this little red ascending channel was in play back through here. In my last video, I actually extended it out through there. And I was talking about when Bitcoin likely is pumping, it'll be either come back down for a retest or there'll be some kind of pullback. And, because nothing goes straight up forever. And there it is, right? It's pulling back. And I was talking about coming down to this red channel. And then also in play was the top of the bull trap extension on the big green descending channel. And then there's also this other red ascending channel down here, a little lower. And then I gave out all the points of support. And I just want to show you how that worked. And if you want to just draw in, this is FEMEX, Bitcoin USDT pairing on FEMEX. If you want to follow along, now these numbers will be a little different on other pairings and stuff. In a macro sense, it's all the same, but I probably can't draw this perfectly on like a Bitcoin USD pairing. They'll just be a little different. But I just want to show you what happened here. All right, so there it was. It came up. It only made it just a little over 72,000. On my chart here, it made it to about 72,040. Pulling back. It came down. Look at this, folks. Isn't this cool? I highly suggest you draw this in on a chart somewhere for yourself and just follow along with what's going on here. Because look at that. I wasn't day trading this. I had my money wrapped up in a swing trade, unfortunately. And I need to I need to get around to day trading and have enough money to make it worthwhile. But I have all that wrapped up in a swing trade, so I'm not doing that now. But look at this, though. It came down. It bounced off the top of that red channel perfectly. Boom. When this happened, I thought maybe it would come back up, but it came back down, tested it again, and then boom. And look at this. It just came down. It bounced off the very bottom of it there. Boom. Came back up, and then it rode. This is the hourly chart. And then for about 20 hours or so, look at that. It just went up the heart line in that red channel. Look at that. And then the top of the red channel is resistance, and the dotted heart line in the middle there as support. Look at that. And then it gave out its patented out the top move. Boom, no, crash back down through. This is a real common thing for Bitcoin to do when I watch these parallel channels. All right, it comes up here, coming up the top, coming out the top. No, boom. Not only is it coming back down, it's coming way back down. That's a popular move. And is that what just happened now on the macro scale, right? This whole big move, this whole big breakout move up here. Is this a fake out the top? Oh, it's coming up here. No, it's coming down. Oh, boom. Right? That's a pattern that happens happens over and over and over. Right? That's the macro scale, what that would look like. And I'll go down and discuss further support levels down below if that's what's happening. But if you watch my channel, I talk about that. a fake break out the top, and it comes. Not only does it come back down, it comes down crashing through hard. But anyways, look at this. Look what happened. It came down. I was talking about maybe this is going to come back down at retest off the top of the bull trap extension. And look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look how precise that is, right? And I'm not day trading this, but I do need to get around to actually trying to day trade this stuff because it's starting to get to me how well this works. Now I can't say exactly when it's going to happen, but look at that. Look at that. Let's zoom in on that. Look at that. Look at that. I haven't monkeyed with this, right? I didn't put this line back in here later. Look at that right there. How valid is this chart of mine? Let me zoom in as far as possible on this. Let's see here. Look at that. What do you think about that? That's just wonderful. I love this charting stuff. I need to become a better trader, and I do believe I'm getting there, as I keep saying in my videos. But I believe this is very valuable analysis for people on YouTube. I should get more views. What do you think? hit the like button and subscribe if you want to, because that's pretty good. Now it didn't come all the way up and test. And in my last video, I talked about. Let's go back down to the daily chart. In my last video, I talked about the next line up here. This green line at 84,418. That's the next resistance line on the Fibonacci extension tool. And I think that's going to have to wait for some time. It's probably going to take a few months to come back up here. I was thinking maybe if Bitcoin had enough oomph to get up here and put in a range up here underneath the old all-time high, then we might be looking at the consolidation to poink, right? But I don't think I don't like that anymore. I do like it, but this last push up stalled out hard at 72,000. It did not break this previous high back here, and in the grand scheme of things, that's still kind of a lower high, even though it was an impressive pump and it didn't quite hit the target, and it appears to be coming back down. So let's go back down to the hourly, and what's going to happen from here? I don't know if it's going to go up or down from here right now. I would suspect at some point here in the close near future, it will be testing this red line here on this channel. I do believe it's going to come down and test there. Now the question is it going to come down? It already tested the green descending channel. Is it going to maybe ride up here like this? Or get in the channel and do one of these, and then if it does do that, is it going to break back up or is it coming back down? I kind of like the downside better. If you forced me to put in a bet right now, which I'm not going to do, I would say probably downside. Maybe it does come up here like this, something like that. But I do think this is going to be tested. Now the question is it going to be the red channel or actually the green channel, right? Maybe it comes back down and tests this here like once or something, and then boom, it comes back down, and now it's in the middle of it. But is it really bouncing off the green or is it in the red, right? Which is going on here? Boom, if it comes back down here, if it gets back down in the green channel, now the more times it tests, if you see it testing the green channel, it doesn't have to keep testing. It could just blast right down through it the next time. But it's tested the top of it once, right? Was this a bounce? Right? It's the retest. Is it a retest and bounce, or is it just a test with another test coming? I would just go out on a limb and say this is probably going to come down and retest support. And this whole area here is a good, strong support. And then I'd say if it does get down in the green channel, then it's going to test the top of this line here, 63,250. Let's call it in the next few hours at 63,400. And for the rest of the day, at the end of the day, it'd come down to like 63,000. This green line here would be a support line to watch it bounce. If it comes back down, if it gets back down in here, if it comes back down here, and then we're dealing with this 65,000, or we're dealing with not 65. Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention the 65,000 level. There's a horizontal line of support there, which actually lines up with the circle area. This is a good strong support area for the time being, right through here, from like 64,500 to 66,300. That should be a pretty strong area of support. If it comes, basically, if it comes back down through the top of that bull trap extension, if it's down here in this area, then 60,800 is likely a bounce. And you're dealing with these white lines of support for the whole range we've been in for a few months now, right? And I would say on the worst case scenario, coming down in a crash dump situation, I'd say 59,000. This white line here is probably the bottom. Now it could come down lower. It could come. Bitcoin could come down all the way. Over the next few weeks, it could come all the way to the bottom. We're talking about 54,000, 53,000. Maybe even a little lower, 50,000, and still be in this channel, right? Let's go back out to the daily. Okay, I don't want to make this video too long. You can just see on a chart the support lines. I really don't even talk about it. Just look at that chart right there and notice how well this is back out on the daily. That daily candle bounced right off the bull trap extension. But if it came back down into this green channel, let's get rid of the bull trap extension. Watch for it first to get trapped in the bull trap extension. If it does make it through that support area, watch for it to get trapped here in this area. Or let's get rid of the bull trap extension. Boom. This is the big macro channel that had the breakout. It went from 64,700 to 72,000. So let's say 65, 7,000. 65, 7,300. The targeted move was 9,000. It went 7,300. So it didn't quite get there. And I do think that higher levels up above the all-time high and then trying to go to 80,000. I think that's probably a couple months away now. I could be wrong about that. It's at least a few weeks away. But like I say, if it comes back down into this green macro channel, if I could just spit it out of my face, that's still healthy. Right? This is still at healthy, boom, and then eventually it will pop up again sometime. But that's it, right? So in a nutshell, and even the really good channels I still watch out there, I think they're missing. And let me know in the comment section if you're watching channels that talk about this. I think they're missing the fact that this is not the post-halving cycle pump, right? This is not the halving. This is not the Bitcoin halving pump. I do believe this is just the mid-cycle pump that has went up and to the right a lot longer than previous cycles. And this very well could come back down like 53,000 or so before the big pump comes. But I think that the real halving pump is out here at a later date, and I do believe that will start in a few months. Ramping up to it could begin shortly. I thought that's what the last breakout might have been, but that turned out to be fairly weak and feeble looking. And basically, what's going on is there wasn't a ton of selling, but at 72,000, people just simply stopped buying, and the weak amount of selling overruled the weak amount of buying, right? And so, with that being said, if a big selling event occurred, Bitcoin could come down hard like a rock. So keep that in mind. But in the short term, we go back down to the hourly. You see it. I didn't even really need to say it once, and I definitely don't need to repeat it more than what I've already said. You can see any line on this chart is going to be support on the way down. And if it does come all the way back down to like 59,000, then all these lines you see here are going to be resistance on the way back up. And, I'm not saying it's coming down for sure. Who knows? Maybe it bounces here. Maybe it bounces here somewhere in this area, and then it comes back up here and tests the all-time high. That's not out of the realm of possibility. But from what I've just seen, Bitcoin looked like it just stalled out hard there, and the buying interest disappeared into the 70,000s. And it's not a whole lot of volume, not a whole lot of volume. Then that's the thing. The volume will really come in when the true halving cycle pump starts. And I think that a lot of people on YouTube that watch videos, I don't know if they're getting that information, but and another thing is that's enough. That's enough, right? But I was just gonna say there is one real common thing Bitcoin does is when you see a big pump up rapidly, it usually puts in a top of some source and then boom, it comes right back out. And that's basically what just happened there. And so, okay, here's another thing to look at. Here's basically kind of where the pump started down here off the 60,800 area. Came back down, and then this is a big pump here, right? And went up and then pumped up again. And so, and then right, and boom, but this whole move here, boom, could be coming back out. So watch 60,800. You know. All right, that's enough. Have a good day. Later. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Thanks for watching.